open an account in YouTube.
A
like
YouTube
this.
account and just
Oh,
do
you
this?
have already one and you didn't tell us, right?
I do have a YouTube account, but back when I used to do other things. Anyway,
Anyway, yeah.
We started with internal jugular.
yeah, so there's going to be your jugulars up here, right? Left and right subclavian. Those are the ones that are coming in. This one, it's truncated, right? It's been cut, but it's running in from this side. Just like how before, we're running under the clavicle, under the shoulder. So it's coming on this side. This one's coming up this side, right? Brachiocephalic is where they meet. So here's where this one's coming in from the top. This one's coming in from the side. This is where they're going to meet right here, right? So brachiocephalic. Superior and inferior vena cava. Here's your superior, this big, thick trunk where they all come to meet, right? All of the blood from the upper extremities in the head, all of the blood that's deoxygenated is coming in here, right? Down here, we have our inferior vena cava. If we could turn this heart around and see, we would see the coronary sinus for the coronary circuit. It would be running into the inferior vena cava.
It's like a line, right?
Yeah, and that would be dumping into what atrium?
The right atrium.
Right atrium. Good. Then we move to axillary vein. So that's here, right? And remember, like with the arteries, we're running out. With these, we're running inward. So sometimes when you're studying, like you want to know them in the order they're on the list, but I like to actually go back and do them from the opposite and work my way from the legs back up and dump in again.
Up, right?
Yeah. So axillary vein, it's going to be down here by the shoulder. This is where the shoulder is on this model. Radial vein. So remember we were saying like they're switched. So the thumb. So radial veins on the thumb side, right? Ulnar veins on the pinky side. We don't have, you know how we had the palmar arches for the arteries? We don't go into the palmar anything for
There's
the
no veins.
Yeah, for the veins. There are veins there, but there's a lot. It's a different process. So we just kind of skip it for this. Common iliac vein. So now we're jumping back, right? It's just like how here we had the common iliac artery. We have the common iliac vein, the big trunk and this would eventually run up to the inferior vena cava, right?
I'm sorry, I'm too busy looking at
They're
the
No, yeah,
still
that's okay.
playing
connecting, right?
A video game or something?
operation that
Yeah.
game.
So
You know what
inferior
I'm
vena
talking
cava. Here's the common iliac where they would run up. Same thing, yeah, vein. Same as before. This one we don't bother with the internal iliac. We just do these external iliac veins, right? We go down. What's this big bone again? So this is where it becomes confusing for some people because it's based upon location, but it's really just one big pathway. So femoral vein runs from basically the length of the femur. Here's the head of it, so it's a little bit up here as well. So it's like this is where our external iliac is running into that femoral, down to the end of the femoral, right? Here's that popliteal. So you have to know like it's this part right here, right?
So glad they have the same name, but just vein.
Yeah, it's
Right?
very easy. And so we have to do this. But whereas we didn't say anything about the lower leg for our arteries, we are gonna know we are gonna want to know the last one for the leg, which is great saphenous. The best way to think of it is like the shin. It runs behind the shin, essentially. So know your shin is great saphenous. Then like if we're moving this up a road, right? And then we've entered a new county, so they changed the name. It's the same road, but we changed it to popliteal. This was a smaller county. Now we've moved into like a bigger open state or something. Femoral vein, moving up. External, what?
Iliac.
Iliac vein, right here,
Inferior vena cava? No.
where they meet.
Oh, I don't know.
That's the inferior vena cava.
Oh, common.
Common, right?
the
Common is when
yes,
they run
yes.
together. Common, inferior vena cava, right? So you can work your way back up or down or whichever direction.
So what is it not connected? Is this another one?
No, this is just where the external iliac is becoming the femoral. They just did this to show you that it like branches into different areas.
They are the same
Yeah.
way.
And then later on when we do, what's this organ?
Those are the lungs.
No,
Liver.
Let me
liver,
see the
right? Later on when we get into liver, you see all these vessels here. We're going to do another circuit called hepatic portal circuit, and we'll see how blood's moving around. That's going to be on the next one. Yeah. And there's a huge model you guys can look at. But that's everything you need to know for this one.
You're awesome, Mark.